everybody, and welcome to my 500th video. That's so crazy to be saying. Now, just real quick, I want to address this. We're not doing any, studio or coding today. It just happens that what I'm doing today does require I load up a place in studio, but it is going to be more of a gameplay video, more of a lax thing. Today, pretty much what I plan on doing for my 500th video, because this is the 500th video I've made on this YouTube channel, which is crazy. So I'm making that. What I'm going to be doing for this video, though, is I'm going to be going over pretty much all the different games, not all of them, but I'm going to go over most of the different games I've played on this channel, and, some of the different versions of Booga Booga, some of the things I've personally developed, and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be good. Right now, we are on the first version of Booga Booga that I ever played on this channel. This is when magnetite was added, and for some reason the rafts sink. I don't actually know why. There are different chests. This is when Shelly was added, actually, which is pretty cool. This is the version that had the totem of the moon, that kind of thing. We've got our essence chests and our 2,000 coin magnetite chests on here back when, magnetite was the rarest. So this version is incredibly nostalgic for me, even though I run sort of an old version of Booga. If you don't know about that, I'll be talking about it later. This is incredibly nostalgic to me because unlike the Booga I run, this is the original version. It's not received any changes. I actually don't remember too much about this version. I know it had this map, there's the miserable god. Were they still just all old god clones at this point? That would be really funny. I think this is one of the versions that had the god bag. No, it is not. God bag was already removed at this point. That's really interesting. But, yeah, on here, the max level was 1,000, but the most levels you needed was 100 for the magnetite gear. They added the hats. It was Soybean. You all know Soybean. This version is incredibly nostalgic to me. It's really weird to be playing this. I have done the, least effort possible to port this over. The reason I'm playing in studio is because I didn't exactly want to publish this version to my profile, because it requires... If you didn't know, Roblox has an issue because of Soybean's games. Ooh, I accidentally just selected everything. Soybean's games were stolen at one point, and Roblox made it so if you published one of them, it would get your account banned. So you have to make significant edits to the games to be able to publish them. And so I'm just playing on a local file in Roblox Studio right now. That's why we have this big border around the screen. But this is the first ever version of Booga that I played on this channel. This is super nostalgic to me. I can go ahead and enter free cam, because if you own a game or, you're working on it in studio, you get access to a Roblox built-in free cam. This version is super nostalgic to me because it's just so clean. And we've got the Totem of the Moon over here. I'm pretty sure that all of the gods were just old god clones at this point, and the wealthy god, or what would become the wealthy god, would have still been in the huge ice biome at this point. The ice biome in this version, I really like it, but I feel like it's too big. But man, this is extremely nostalgic for me, although a lot of that nostalgia is gone because I've already worked on my game, Booga Booga Ancient Times, which we'll be going over later. Oh, the wealthy god isn't even here on this version. So is it only the old god in a bunch of different places, or is the model just not done? Yeah, so it's just a bunch of old god clones. Because if you didn't know, before the wealthy god and the hateful god and all that was added, it was just a bunch of clones of the old god that would drop essence. So this version, really nostalgic, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one because we've got a lot to cover today. Can't play this for too long, but if you would be interested in me making sort of an archival place for all of the different older Booga Boogas, I would be up for doing that, just making it so you can access the Adderite version, the Crystal version, the Magnetite version, the Emerald version, all in their original states without any edits other than bug fixes and patching out all the big dupes. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next game now. Okay, so you're probably wondering, if you know what this is, you're probably wondering why we're on Booga Booga Reborn. If you don't know, Booga Booga Reborn is the most popular unofficial Booga Booga, but the reason we're on here is because this version is kind of like a time capsule of the 2019, well, it's actually not 2019, it's late 2018. That's actually the era where the Void and the Mojo were around that most people think of as 2019. There's a fun fact for you. That was actually 2018, mid-2018. But we're on Reborn, Booga Booga Reborn, and I'm a Shelly on here just because we were joking around with the owner, and he just decided to do this. We're on here because it serves as an excellent time capsule of the kind of 2018 era of Booga Booga that I made most of my videos in. You've got the God Rock, you've got the Void spells, you've got the Void. Most versions of Booga Booga don't have the Void, because it is not publicly downloadable. I honestly don't know how Pi got the Void. Pi is the owner of this game. But, this is the version most people remember with Pink Diamond and the God Armor and all that stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the Void, because that's extremely, like, nostalgic for me, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys as well. This is the version with the Void spells. Oh, I didn't. He reworked the Void portal particles. And so, yeah, this game is, has had a lot of changes made to it, like there's new stuff, there's reworked things, like the Void's shield has a cool effect, but it is a pretty good time capsule that's just been modernized a bit. So we can go ahead and take a look at how the game is now. I'm actually bugged in the Void. I keep all my gear and my armor, but it's invisible and I don't lose it when I die. Here we can see the original Void. I'm sure a lot of you remember, I used to really love the Void, and I still do really love the Void. We've got all sorts of different... and you've got, you know, the Void armor is accessible here, there are people PvPing, it's just like the original Void, but the thing that I mostly remember is that when you're underwater, you would get this low kind of gravity effect. And the funny part about this low gravity effect, as I call it, is that I made a video down here, twice, where I put just like a big ol' hut, which I cannot build because I'm a little buggy mess in the Void, I would put a big ol' hut down here, and I would have like an anti-gravity base with low gravity. Because even if you don't have Water Walker and you're down here, it's still like just being on the surface, because the way the water check works only checks if you're like in shallow water, not if you're in deep water. So you can make really cool water bases. And so I did that twice. I made one original video on it, and then I decided I didn't like that video, and I made another. So this is the original Void. We're gonna go ahead and walk around for a while because the Void was a big deal. I did a lot of videos on this kind of version. Now, some of these things are new to Booga Booga Reborn, but most of this Void is the original Void. We have the jelly trees in the middle, the obsidian, boulders, and the little crags that used to be useless, but Pi gave them a use on here. We've got the Void ants over here, and the, like, Forgotten or Lost Souls, I don't remember what they're called. We've got those two big islands where I would always do, like, events and build bases and stuff. So this version is incredibly nostalgic to me. And it's really cool to see. This is where a lot of my old videos that people remember me for were made, in this version with this Void. So it's really cool to see this again, and especially to see it populated with people and full of, like, other players again. It's really weird, but it's really cool, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next game. But yeah, this is one of the bigger ones. Spent a lot of time in here, made videos and all that stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next game, which would be Booga Booga 2020. So this is one of the original Booga Boogas. This is where actually, you know, most of the open source copies of Booga we have come from. This version was played for a decent bit on my channel. This is actually, funny enough, this is one of my favorite versions, mostly because of, like, a few minor features that I really love. So we're gonna go ahead and hop into the Overworld, because it's the biggest and the most iconic map from Booga Booga 2020. This game, people didn't really like it, and I see why. It was very, very different. But this is definitely one of my favorite Booga Boogas with the different essence abilities, the free gems. I mean, I don't care that much that they're free. It's just cool to have, like, something to work towards. The main thing for me, though, is all of the skins for your buildings that you can unlock. Like, There's so many different ways you can customize your builds. This version is pretty much just like a builder's paradise. Like, even then, the regular hut has a has many different skins. Like, the regular hut has different skins that can change its shape around. The big ol' hut has the Viking hut skin, which makes it invincible, which is really funny. The sailboat has the fishing boat skin, which, if you didn't know, I actually ported over to be a custom boat on my version of Booga Booga. But the main thing that I really like about this version is the different essences. The balancing on these was awful, but they're really fun to use. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our essences. There is the fire essence, which will basically, you have to charge it up, but then you'll get this aura of fire around you, which will boost your damage to, like, enemies. It'll give you a little bit of passive damage to anyone around you. You've got the water essence, which will give you, like, these shields that act like the void shield and protect you from some hits. You've got the air essence, which makes you run faster. This one is super cool. Again, these are really poorly balanced, but they're so much fun to use, and for casual combat, they really help out the game. So I really like this game. I know most people don't, which is understandable. It's a really weird one, but I really like this game. I think it's really fun. We could go ahead and kill one of these golems real quick. There's also the Earth Essence, which gave you, like, more loot whenever you killed enemies, or just anything in general, gave you more loot. So this is just a really, really cool version of Booga Booga. The map is ginormous. Funny enough, like, it's absolutely huge, the size of this map. This map is so big that it is actually heavily doubted between Random Boy and I, who are official developers for Booga Booga, that literally anyone has ever explored the whole thing, which is really funny. It's just so big. Again, this wasn't the most popular version of Booga Booga, but I really love this one. It's really fun. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next version of Booga Booga, which would have been Booga Booga Classic. Now, unfortunately, this one, when Soybean left, he left this one in a kind of buggy state. As you can see, we've got this new rain particle that I designed for Classic at one point, but the way it works is really unfinished, and, ooh, I'm being attacked by a shark. And the chat is completely broken. You can't even open it. It just doesn't work. Which is really unfortunate because this is a really cool version of Booga Booga. It has so many different features, and it's based on the Magnetite edition, but it's just got, you know, quality of life, new UI, settings, the Goober bag, which has extra storage space, and you could, like, buy it for Robux for a while, but now you have to craft them. This version's really awesome. There isn't much to go over, though, because it's very similar to the version I talked about at the start, with the Magnetite and the Moon Totem and all that stuff, just with a few minor changes, like the new UI, the Goober Bag, and the new rain effect, which is unfinished and looks extremely goofy with these flying water bits on the ground. This would have had to been completely recoded because it's super goofy the way it works, but it could have been pretty. I was the one who made this, it's just it wasn't implemented very well. In any case, this version is pretty cool, played it a decent amount. We mined actually the Dancing Shelly on here. I don't have that berry anymore, gave it to a friend. So, this was the first version that I think I was, like, the second person to mine the Dancing Shelly on here. It was done once. But yeah, this version is really cool. There isn't much to say, though, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one, which I actually can't join, because on Booga Booga Hybrid, I have items that are unobtainable, and the game will automatically delete them out of my inventory if I join the game. So we're just gonna talk about Booga Booga Hybrid. Booga Booga Hybrid was really, really cool. But it had a lot of updates that people didn't like. I never really had any problems with it, but I'm not very competitive, so that is actually the game I started working on for Booga Booga. I built the Aether map over there. You can go check it out yourself. Again, don't want to join because I'll lose all my things. Unfortunately now, because Soybean has left, that game is in a really bad state. It has it has a dupe glitch that really messes up the game, and it's pretty buggy, but it was a really fun game to play, and I know that Random Boy has made a new version of it, and he's starting over from the first version that everyone really liked, with the overheal and the original 2019, where it was like the higher numbers of the god tools and the mojo, and without the Aether and any of that. So he's restarting, he's trying to do hybrid, like, again, without messing up the thing, like, without changing as much. And so if you're curious, if you liked hybrid, you should really go check that out. It's just called Booga Booga Hybrid 2. I don't know if you'll be able to find it by searching it up. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next game that isn't hybrid, because I can't talk about hybrid. So, we are on The Lost Lands. You probably thought I was going to go talk about Booga Booga Ancient Times. Nope, we're playing The Lost Land. So, if you don't know, this is one of the other games I played on my channel. I actually haven't played this in ages, so it's very different from when I last played. But, this was another survival game made by a different developer. This game's really cool. There's so much I haven't checked out because I haven't played in a long time. And they've got tons of different, like, features and unlockable things, and you can do all sorts of stuff. So, I really like this game. I can't really talk about it too well, though, because it's just really, like, big. Like, there's way too much to talk about. A few cool things, though, is he would constantly update the game. There were buildings saved in private servers long before any of the other games did that. It's just a really cool game overall. It is really weird, but that is kind of to its benefit. This game's pretty cool. I remember this game a lot. Now, we're gonna go ahead and move on to Booga X. Gotcha again! So, Booga X was another really, really cool Booga version. It was all about PvP. And you would jump into the center of the map and you would fight people. Unfortunately, it's an official Booga Booga, so it's not maintained anymore, which means that there's basically no one playing it. But I would love to see someone go ahead and refurbish this version. That is actually my #1 thing I would want to see, because this version is awesome. This was like 2020 combat, but kind of not really. It's hard to explain this game. It was substantially different from the original Booga Booga, but it scratched the same itch while also feeling like a new game. This is another one of my favorite Booga Boogas. It was super fun to do live streams on here and get viewers to come in and play. So, this is one of my favorite Boogas as well. Unfortunately, it had the essences from 2020 added, which really do not suit a competitive game. And it also had building removed, which was a big part of the combat on here. But this was a really fun game, and it would be pretty easy if you were to download a copy and work on it yourself to make the changes and make it not have the buildings removed and not have the essences. It would be pretty easy. Or maybe you could figure out a way to balance the essences. Maybe just get rid of some of the more overpowered ones. But this was a really cool Booga game. And I'm kind of sad that it wasn't continued to be developed. This is a really fun one. I have so many memories of different shenanigans on here. But we're gonna go ahead and move finally on to the next game, which you're probably just thinking I'm gonna bait you again, but no. We've got my game, Booga Booga Ancient Times. Finally, we're talking about this. So, this is a Booga Booga game that I own. If you don't know much about it, it's a version of the Emerald Booga Booga. Where emeralds are the highest tier. Emeralds are really rare on here because I patched all the dupes, and the emerald rocks are spaced across the map, and they only give one each, so the primary way you're going to get emeralds is through shipwrecks. There's also been a ton of other content. As you can see, I just joined the server, and there's like a bunch of bases, but there's no one in it. That's because everything you build on a private server will save on here. So we've got the Christmas tree, which is no longer buildable, but, you know, it's Christmas tree. and all sorts of different things. Don't mind that giant hut. That's not normally buildable. I just put that there because I'm the owner and I do a little bit of trolling. Hence the 4 question mark items on my hotbar. This version was originally just going to be a nostalgia version with extremely minor updates, but it has become such a huge project. There's so much on here. Just to give an example, the Warhammer weapon last week got reworked completely. Now it has a wider swing, and it can hit as many enemies as you want at once. So it can hit like 5 players at a time. And there's a stronger version of it called the Pyral Warhammer with like a cool lightning effect, and it's just an endgame stats version. There's a new mineral called Pyrolite. You can go underground and you can get Pyrolite. The Frozen Giant has been totally reworked. It's not exactly a nostalgia version anymore. There's just tons of new stuff. There's like log seats that you can just, sit on and it's nice. There's, fences. There's just an absurd amount of new content. There's, emerald tools, which weren't originally in this version. There's the, infinite quiver. There's an absurd amount of, like, seasonal items. Basically, what I'm telling you is this game is full of stuff. Infinite quiver just gives infinite arrows, that kind of thing. There's so much stuff in here. You've got the terrain grass, the nice lighting. I really am proud of this version, but no one plays it. So unless you keep up with my channel, this version probably doesn't matter that much to you, and that's alright. I'm not going to talk about it for too long, but for me, this version has probably been the biggest deal to me. Besides maybe Hybrid. Probably Hybrid's bigger a deal for me, but depending on how long I keep working on this, it might not be. Because I've had to develop all of these different features basically on my own until a couple weeks ago, where Random Boy, one of the, basically the owner, I mean, Soybean was technically the owner, but the owner of Booga Booga Hybrid had to, has started helping me with this game. Just doing some back-end coding stuff, doing a little bit of brainstorming, helping me make the game, like, look better with this new lighting. That is not the weapon I am looking for. Where is my wooden pickaxe? There's my wooden pickaxe. I have a wooden pickaxe that one-shots things. Don't worry about it. I really like this version. I think I've done good changes, and I think Random Boy has done good changes. He hasn't, like, he's mostly done, like, the back-end kind of stuff. And he's only started working on it recently, but I think it's a good version. This has occupied so much of my time, because I update it every week. I know I sound like I'm advertising. I'm not. I'm just talking about this version. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to, kind of talking about some other things that I've done on this channel. Not just Booga Booga games and survival games anymore. We're gonna talk about a few of the other things. So this is one of the games I worked on during, the years I was doing a lot of YouTube content, because, if you've noticed, I've kind of done a lot less recently, but yeah, I mean, I still upload. Anyway, this is one of the games I worked on while doing a lot of YouTube content. I live streamed it a lot. This is Gravity Combat. If you didn't know, I'm actually a Roblox game developer. I worked on a lot of games during the course of this channel. I mean, it's been 5 years, so it does make sense. But, this game was really fun. People liked it a lot. The code's bad, but that doesn't really matter, to be honest, because the game is fun and it runs smoothly. If I was a better developer, this definitely would have looked a lot different. Like, these maps wouldn't just be spheres with some decoration. There'd be a much more creative map. I actually really like these with the little King of the Hill challenges. You have to jump over these things because they insta-kill you if you don't. Yeah, I really like this, this game. It's really fun. A lot of, you guys that have been watching for a long time might have actually played this game on a live stream. It's pretty fun. I like this one. It had some problems, but it was a cooler game. But yeah, I've actually worked on so many games over the course of this channel, and I don't feel like we can go over all of them, because there's just so many, and I don't want this video to be like 2 hours long, but, what I will mention is, like, the few major games that I worked on during this channel. There was The Survivalists, which was basically the first game I ever made, hence it wasn't very good, but it was fun, people played it, had a decent enough time. There were some other random games here and there. A lot of them never got released or finished, because I have a hard time with that. But the ones that did, people played, and it was fun. I've made so many games at this point, I couldn't even tell you all of them, and I made them. So, we're going to go over a couple of the more notable ones. Like, we're going to talk about Speed Heroes, which I actually originally made for a YouTube challenge video. And then I'm actually about to release a demo for my new game, Asleep, and I'll show off a couple minutes of footage from that game at the end of this video. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the Speed Heroes game, which is one I worked on for this channel, but then it became kind of a bigger thing than that. So here we have Speed Heroes, which I actually really like this game. It's a speed simulator, but my goal with it, I flew out the map, was to make the gameplay actually fun, and not just holding W for 12 hours straight with no in between. So there are quests everywhere, and there are different obbies you do. I originally made this game in like 15 minutes for a video. It was a challenge video. I was like, I'm gonna make a game in 15 minutes, and I did it, and it was a really fun video. And obviously, it did not look like this after 15 minutes. I did a lot of work to get it to this point. The different things in this game are, there are trails, and there are magnets, and the magnets suck in coins, and the trails make you get, speed faster, you get more steps or whatever that make you, run faster and unlock new areas. The main thing that I like about this game is the quests. They're just really fun. I really like this game. I would work on it if people were interested in playing it, but the thing is, I really can't get this game any players. I tried a lot, but, I really like this game. I think it's good where it is. You could probably come on here and play for a while, and it would be fun. It doesn't really need content updates. There's already way too much to do. Like, there's a billion zones that take forever to get to, and like a ton of different quests and unlockable things. And then you go through here, and there's this entire sky map, and then you jump over here, and you fail the jump, and you fall out the map unless I can get control back. Okay, I got control back. Let me use like a reasonable speed. There we go. And there's just so much here, and then there's like you finish the sky area, and there's like 2 more, which I can't even access because I was doing a playthrough of this game at one point to see what needed work, because that's a thing I like to do. After not working on a game for ages, I'll play through it like a normal player, and if it's not very good, I won't work on it, but if it's like there's a few things that need work, I will. What I can do actually is real quick, I'll just go ahead and give myself infinite steps, so that I can show the last 2 areas. Okay, there we go, I have 100 million steps now. There's like a candy zone, which admittedly is kind of bad because it didn't get reworked yet, and I was reworking all the zones. And then there's the cyber zone, which admittedly also kind of bad, but it was a big area. There's this global like donation thing where everyone could contribute to like unlocking a new quest permanently to the game. This was really cool. I'm actually sad that people never finished unlocking all the coins. In hindsight, this goal was way too big for the size of this game. But in any case, this is a pretty cool one. If you're interested, I'm gonna probably link most of the games I'm playing in this video down below. Again, this isn't an advertisement, it's just I'm talking about the things that I like about these games, because I want to keep this video pretty positive. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to... So here is my game, Asleep. This is unreleased, it's unfinished, but this is kind of something I've been working on. I mean, it's been on and off because of Booga Booga Ancient Times, but I've been working on it this past week. And this is a new single-player game I'm working on. I'm gonna release a demo later. I'll make a video when that happens. I know I sound like I'm advertising. I'm really not. I'm just trying to talk about what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and play through the first couple minutes of the game, just to kind of show you what it's about. It is a comedy game. So I think it's pretty funny. I'm just gonna go ahead and play through it now. Or not the whole game. Probably just a little tiny bit of it, because... I mean, that's not what you're here for. You're not here for a let's play of my new game, but we're gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna show off the first part of the game. I'm glad your after-school chess club went well. I have to pick up some groceries. I'll be back in an hour. Okay, I'm going straight to bed. I'm exhausted. and then it breaks.
Did I get disconnected?
Oh! What? Okay, that's cool. I think I got disconnected. Sure. I don't know what just happened. Anyway, so we're gonna go in our house.
No, it's a bit dark. Turn the lights on. Okay, so I need to go to bed. I guess my bedroom's probably upstairs.
Oh yeah, here we go. Your room. Enter.
Oh, and here's my bed.
We've got a bookshelf, we've got a trash can, we've got a nice little room. Let's go ahead and go to sleep. The holy chocolate! It has been many long years searching for it. We must get it! Let's go! It's the holy chocolate, guys! Oh, and there goes Wilson. It's another fake. So that's all I'm gonna go over. That should give you an idea of what this game is like. This is kind of what I've been working on. I've mostly been working on Booga Ancient Times, but that should give you an idea of what this game is like. Super goofy. Should be a lot of fun. Gonna be releasing a demo later. I'll make a video when I do. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. My 500th video. That's really crazy. So thank you all so much for watching. If this is your first video or your 500th, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.